Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I visible and audible to everyone? Good evening, Sahil, Ram Ram. Good evening, Sahaj, Muazzam, Leela, Abhishek, Amit, Riya, Faguni. Perfect, perfect. Let's wait for a minute. More people are joining. Good evening, Muskan. Well, so guys, tell me, uh, like from today, I I have thought that we will be doing some, kind of RCs, reading commission passages on reviews. It can be movie review, it can be a novel review, review of a story or a poem, any art piece, review of a painting. It can be any art piece. So yeah, tell me, how many of you like this movie? In my case, it is my second favorite movie. The first one is Matrix, and this is the second one. Kunal ending from Jim. Nice. Sumit, I'm good. This movie has got a cult following. The director, Mr. Christopher Nolan, he and his brother they write the screenplay. They write a lot of movies they have written and directed by Nolan himself, Christopher Nolan himself, produced by his wife. So all in all, the entire family is a kind of an industry in itself. Shutter Island is your favorite, Anand? Great. By Martin Scorsese. As you can see, this is. Do you remember this scene? This happened when the character of Matt Damon tried to escape, tried to dock himself. In case you have watched this movie, cool. So here I have selected a review from one of the sites, one of the reviewers, and based on that review, I have made some questions based on the review itself, and there'll be options as we do in normal RCs. So let us start that. Perfect. So this one is it. Let's start reading this. And first of all, I'll give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes to read this entire passage. And I have underlined some words over here, which are basically the words can be difficult. So note down those words also. That will be adding up to your vocabulary. Note down the meanings. I'm giving you for this entire exercise the word, the meaning, and the entire passage. Read it once, and this will take you 7 to 8 minutes. So start doing that, all of you. After that, I'll read the passage for you and then we will start doing the questions. Bottom line seems to be cut. Is it so? Yeah, right. Wait. Is it perfect now? Now I think it's good. Right, Gaurav? You have to read the passage, then you note down the meanings of the underlined words. You have 8 minutes for this. I'm stepping aside so that you can read properly. Cool. Yeah, Janvi, session is live right now. I'm waiting for 8 minutes. Once done, just type done in the comment box. People have done reading. Angshuman, okay, I'll be reading that. Post it on the group itself because I'll be losing that in the comment section. Perfect. Done by everyone. That's really cool. Wait, tell me something. Do you like this thing? Like, should we do more RCs of this sort? In fact, we do it in the regular sessions as well. Like we have been doing from different genres, but today I thought about doing some because this is also a part of in CAD. I have seen some reviews of some movies or some books that is not very common, but once or twice in like a decade, this thing comes. So, what do you think about this initiative? Right. Okay. Now I'll read the passage with you. So let's start that. The possibility that such a you might be out there in a position to grant clemency. What is clemency? Anand, it looks difficult, but it's all right because you can expect anything in CAT. It can be difficult, moderate, or easy. Okay, what is clemency? Let's read it together. What is clemency? The possibility that such a you, might be out there in a position to grant clemency. What is clemency? Mercy, right. Clemency is mercy. It's one of the movie's tantalizing puzzles. What is tantalizing? What is tantalize? It's like teasing someone, teasing someone for something. That is tantalizing. Some kind of message seems to be coming across the emptiness of space. Look at the beautiful words they have used over here. Some kind of message seems to be coming across the emptiness of space and along the kinks in the fabric of time, offering a twinkle of hope amid humanity's rapidly darkening prospects. What are kinks? What is kink? Kink. What is kink? Kinks are basically the sharp moves, the sharp moves. So, along the kinks in the fabric of time, offering a twinkle of hope amid humanity's rapidly darkening prospects. So, it looks like when the passage starts that there's something very bad has happened, some catastrophic event, some act of God which might be destroying, which might be majorly devastating. Something of that kind has already happened, and there is some kind of hope amid humanity's rapidly darkening prospects. Humanity is about to end probably. So it looks like it's a dystopian kind of passage, right? Looks like dystopian. Do you know what is dystopian? It is like when the entire life is about to end or the humanity is about to end. That is dystopian. For example, Mad Max, the movie, is a dystopian movie. For most of Interstellar, the working hypothesis is that a benevolent alien race. What is benevolent? What is benevolent? Benevolent is someone who helps, helps people. Benevolence is act of helping people. Right. Benevolent alien race dwelling somewhere on the far side of a wormhole near one of the moons of Saturn is sending data across the universe. Moons of Saturn. Now, moons, we talk about moons. Moons are basically like we call our satellite the moon. Any natural satellite is a moon. So, moon for Earth is what we see. Saturn has 21 moons, if I'm not wrong, right? Saturn has 21 moons. There is 21 natural satellites revolving around there, and it looks like in the movie it looks like that there is some alien some who is kind of very helping towards the humanity of Earth, and they are living on the far side of a wormhole near one of the moons of Saturn, and they're sending data across the universe. Encrypted is what is encrypted? Something in which is in coded form, right? Encrypted advice that just may save us if we can decode it fast enough. So basically, probably there are some alien, some extraterrestrial life, and they are kind of sending some messages in an encrypted form, and they want us to decrypt it. What is decryption? Encryption, the antonym of encryption is decryption. So if we decrypt it at in the given time and like fast enough, then we will be able to save the entire humanity. That is what Interstellar is all about. For most of the majority of the portion, movie talks about this thing. In case you have watched the movie, they have used this term "they" for these benevolent alien race. They have used the term "they," and nobody is sure who are they. They're aliens or God or some demigods out there. Nobody knows in the movie. It is always a surprise, always a mystery, I would say. Okay. What our planet and species need saving from is a slow motion environmental catastrophe. So, catastrophe, what is catastrophe? A major destruction, devastating, some act which is very much devastating, and environmental catastrophe, like this is something which, kind of common sense, because we humans are basically destroying our planet. We are increasing the pollution, the population is getting increased, the natural resources are depleting. So all these things are happening because we are increasing, and we are, in terms of population, in terms of resources, so we are increasing at such a fast pace that we are, we are about to destroy our planet, and that is why some environmental catastrophe might happen. Some disaster might happen. Saturn has more than 60 moons. Ronit, thanks for the information. She says it is 82 now. Perfect. I knew about only 21. Okay, so everybody, like Ronit and it is said it has got 82 moons, so please note that down. That is important. Okay. Rather than explain how this bleak future arrived through the usual montages of mayhem, what does it mean? So, director should, like in this passage it is mentioned, director did not explain that how it happened. It is very commonsensical. The way, the pace at which we are growing, this would certainly come someday. Arrived through the usual montages of mayhem, Mr. Nolan, who wrote this screenplay with his brother Jonathan, drops us quietly into what looks like a fairly ordinary reality. So, there's one thing which you should be keeping in mind. I'm explaining this passage, this becomes easy. Like a lot of students have told me, so that when you explain, it looks like it is a cakewalk. But when we try to read it, we don't get it. Is this the problem with a lot of you? Like there are some, very basic terms used over there. It's like, it's called reading between the lines. There are a lot of things are there, and something is hidden, a message is hidden inside, which can form a question. So that is something which happens to a lot of people, and that is why I'm trying to explain everything. And whenever you feel uncomfortable, just go back to my recordings, and there you will see that how I am trying to extract the information. Right? Yeah, that is a major problem, I know that. So you might be observing me, like what all things are there which I look at. For example, this is very important. This part, ordinary reality, rather than this line is very important. What does this mean? This means that what happens normally, for example, any story, any filmmaker, any film, any piece of art. So if you want to show some effect, then the audience would be looking for a cause as well. That is one kind of story telling. Okay. The other thing is that an art piece is constructed in such a way that they don't want to show the cause, and they assume that the cause is commonsensical. Cause is something which everybody can understand easily, And after that, let us show the effect in such a way that is very common. So, like we breathe, we eat, we meet each other. That is very common, right? But if we talk about the prehistoric man, the way he behaved, like nowadays we use phones, it's very normal for us. But let us assume that a person who is born 100 years ago and he somehow watches us doing certain stuff, then that will be very much weird for him, but that can be a reality. So let us say that 50 years ago, someone showed in a movie that we are using phones. And this is very normal in the movie. So that is what Nolan has done over here, that he has directly shown the effect but not the cause. Oh, Shubham, that happens on the screen. Okay. We are in a rural stretch of North America, a land of battered, what is battered? Battered pickup trucks, dusty blue jeans, dusty blue jeans, this looks quite badass, and wind-burned farmers scanning the horizon for signs of a storm. Talking head, so see, the entire world has become so weird for us. Now imagine this thing that right now, like I am teaching you over there, you are sitting in your homes, and at the horizon you see a storm happening, storm coming up. We'll be very shocked to see that. But if it happens every alternate day, then this will be very natural for us. So would we stop living? No. We're doing everything the way we do it. Okay. So if a thing happens again and again, now listen to this. If something repeats itself, that becomes normal for everyone. And that is how culture is formed. Anything which looks like a far-fetched reality becomes a part of culture because it happens again and again and again. There are n number of examples for that. All right. Cool. So batter is basically in a very torn off condition. That is battered. So the thing which I just said, you should be paying attention to that. How something becomes a part of culture because it is repeated. So if we start telling, now look at this. What happens with our generation? That we have mobile phones in our hands, we look at the memes, we share stories, we do all that stuff, filter and everything. And this has become a kind of culture today. Now, I thought when I was a kid, I thought, what if we start promoting mathematics or education or intelligence in such a way that you become really cool when you solve some questions quickly? Now, how about that? When people are very good in mathematics, for example, they can be any subject. People are good in mathematics, they calculate really quick. So a lot of people think, okay, they are crazy. We call them crazy, we call them geek, we call them nerd, we call them all that stuff. But what if we call them the real rock stars? That is my way of doing it. So if anybody wants to create a culture, then whatever you want to do, that part, that should be promoted in such a way that it looks really cool. You got that? We're discussing something on this in some RC class, of course. You got it? Now think about this. You are going somewhere, like people have this all sorts of gel and stylish beards and a lot of stuff, and we call them cool. People are smoking, we call them cool. Now there's someone who walks in and he says, okay, 333 ka square ye hota hai, and you call them cool. How does it sound? That is how people can actually start, educating themselves, and that is the only way I believe to grow the intellectual capital of our humanity. Let's see when that happens. Okay. So here it is shown that a lot of weird things are happening. For example, the farmers are scanning the horizon for signs of a storm. This is a weird thing. Like they're always on the edge of reality, edge of their existence. And what happens? Talking head testimony from old timers chronicles what sounds like Dust Bowl of 1930s. until we spot a laptop on the table being set for family dinner. So there's, we people are having dinner, people are enjoying, but they always have this fear in mind that they might be facing the consequences of some big bad storm. All right. Right. इमरान पेड्स में कोई क्लास लोगे आरसी की? मैं लेता हूँ इमरान, बैच 2 में मैं आरसी क्लास लेता हूँ. ओके. The head of the family in question is Cooper. So now the character has been introduced. Cooper, Matthew McConaughey. He is the actor, not the character. Character name is Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey won the Oscar for Best Actor in which movie? That is a question. Let's see who answers that. Matthew McConaughey won the Oscar for Best Actor in a movie. Which movie was that? Going forward, Cooper, a widower who lives with his 2 children and his father-in-law, John Lithgow. Once a NASA pilot, Cooper now grows corn. The only thing that will grow after a blight has wiped out most of the planet's other crops. The human population has shrunk to a desperate. What is blight? Blight is basically a disease of wheat, and a lot of other cereals get affected by that. Has shrunk to desperate remnant. What is remnant? Remnant is basically the residue, the last thing happening, the last thing remaining. But the survivors cling to the habits and rituals of normal life. For now, there is plenty of candy and soda and beer, thanks to all that corn. Thanks to all that corn. So that is a kind of humor that corn is now being fermented to make beer. Earlier it was wheat, barley, and malt. Dallas Buyers Club. Perfect. Soumyadeep, Jishnu, that's the correct answer. Ronit, Interstellar nahi hai. Okay. Survivors cling to the habits and rituals of normal life. Cool. There are parent-teacher conferences after school, and Cooper's farmhouse is full of books and toys. But the blight is spreading, the dust storms are growing worse, and the sense of an ending is palpable. What is palpable? What is palpable? Anyone? Janvi Dallas Buyers Club is a movie, and I think everybody should watch that also. It's on an AIDS victim, and he survived. How did he survive? So it's about that. Palpable. What is palpable? Ending is palpable. Easily perceptible, felt easily sensed, directable. You're right. So, like, it is very. So, the sense of ending is kind of people are becoming normal to that. Okay, we might end anytime. So, that is what people have started thinking. Nolan's imagination is large. His eye seeks out wide, sweeping vistas. What is vista? What is vista? Out wide, sweeping vistas, and if he believes in anything, it is ambition. It is ambition. As it celebrates the resistance to extinction, taking as its touchstone, what is touchstone? Dylan Thomas. Okay, we'll go ahead with that. Let us understand what is a vista and what is touchstone. Vista. Vista, someone said view, related to beauty, panorama view, pleasing view. Yeah, vista, vista is normally used for dreamy things. When you dream about something very beautiful, of course, it's a view. a huge landscape, a scenery. That is vista, but it can happen in normal life also. If you go to mountains or beaches where human intervention is really low, you can have this, feeling of vista. That is vista. All right. Then touchstone. What is touchstone? क्लेमेंसी का मतलब है मर्सी. प्रतीक, मर्सी. Gaurav said extensive mental view, you're right. Touchstone is like benchmark, Satvik said. Benchmark for something, yeah. Right. It's a benchmark for something. So what is the benchmark over here? Dylan Thomas, he was a poet. Dylan Thomas is famous villanelle. What is villanelle? Anyone? Villanelle? And if I have not made a question on vocabulary, but if this, like, villanelle is something which can be asked in vocabulary, contextual vocabulary questions as well for this particular reading comprehension. Yeah. Villanelle. Villanelle is a kind of poem. It's a kind of 3 lines poem, and it ends with a quatrain. Quatrain is again a poetic device. Akanksha, yeah, that is not exactly repeated lines. It's 3 lines poem, Villanelle, which ends with a quatrain. So, and if you have watched the movie, it was like this: "Do not go gentle into that good night." And this has been repeated thrice in the movie. The movie ends, then also it is repeated, and it has got a very philosophical outlook towards humanity and towards existence. Fluent stanza in French, Janvi said. Yeah. It's not always French, Janvi. Yeah, it started with the French poetry, but now it is being used in other languages as well, including English. With its repeated invocation of rage against the dying of the light, Interstellar becomes an allegory of its own aspirations, an argument for grandeur, scale, and risk on screen and off. Grandeur is something which is very huge, which is grandiloquent, which looks extensively stylish, something which has got a big sort of, imagination, view, that is grandeur. Now, tell me, what is allegory? Allegory is again a poetic, a literary device in which the things which are shown look very magical and they have got a moral. Okay? That is allegory. Aditya, quatrain is again a kind of poem which has 4 iambic pentameters. Now, that word, did you ask what is iambic pentameter? Quatrain is like, something, the last part is repeated 4 times. That is a quatrain. All right. Cool. So we have done. We're done with this stanza, this entire passage. How was the passage? It was difficult, it was moderate, or it was easy? What do you think? Palak, what happened? Not justifying? Pawan said last line of second paragraph. This one. Talking head testimony from Old Timers Chronicles, what sound like? Okay, yeah. In the movie, it is shown that there are some people who have become old now, and someone is taking an interview of them, and they are talking about chronicles, basically the stories. So they were essentially talking about what they felt, when they were kids, and their entire lifetime when the world was about to end. So it looks like 50, 60 years have passed, and someone is taking their interview, and because of that, so they were basically the old timers, the old people, and they were chronicles a story. They're telling their stories of when the storm was coming, when the earth was about to end, all those the stuff they were telling it. and it sounds like Dust Bowl of 1930s. So in 1930s, it happened that um, there were stormy occurrences were there. So it has Nolan in a way has kind of taken an inspiration from that real event to create this particular scene in the movie. All right. No. Palak, allegory is not justifying. I thought. Okay, you thought it's not justifying. No, no, allegory is not that. Allegory is kind of, as I told you, it has got a magical morale. So when something is told in such a way which looks very magical, kind of fantastic, so that is allegory. Hemantha, meanings neighbor, exactly. So this passage is vocab extensive, right? Now let us go through the first question. Dylan Thomas is a poet. Swamindeep. Ronit is a poet. Here goes the first question. What does author mean by fairly ordinary reality? Fairly ordinary reality. Hello, Vikas. Thanks for the comment. Swati said haiku. Swati, haiku is a Japanese poem, in fact, and it has got 5 lines, right? Grandeur, Krishna, something which, a spectacle, a visual spectacle which is very loud in appearance, very loud. For example, if I talk about, let's say, 2 kind of movies, in one movie which is low budgeted movie, other is a high budget movie. In a high budget movie, you see scenes which are big, big action sequences, big palaces. For example, Sanjay Leela Bhansali's movie, that is grandeur. Ronit, yeah, it's a positive word, right? So a lot of you have marked C. Let's see that. In fact, the questions will be very easy for you now. And the reason is very simple, that I have kind of explained the passage in very easy terms. And C is the correct answer. Yeah, that's right. So fairly ordinary reality, something close to fantasy. It can sound like, but let's read the other options first. Far-fetched reality, of course not. Far-fetched reality will be contradictory to the word fairly ordinary. It will be kind of antonym. See, presenting a distant reality in a mainstream manner. There is something which I explained as I talked about the second line. This part, that the reason is not shown, but the thing is made very mainstream. So that is what C option is saying. So C will be the correct answer. Presenting a distant reality in a mainstream manner. And that happens with a lot of Hollywood movies if you have watched them. Something which looks like, for example, there's a movie called In Time. Have you watched that movie? In Time. Anyone? In this movie, In Time, a very fairly ordinary reality has been shown. People on YouTube, Janvi, Sumit, Vikas, Swati, you guys are not answering. In Time, you haven't watched. So what happens over there? Like, what happens to us? We humans, how do we live? What is the mode of our survival? So we think that, like astrologers say, we'll be living for 70 years, 80 years, and so on. Some people say it depends on how many breaths we take. It depends on whether we feel, whether we are injured or not. So all those things are there. But like Muhammad Umar, I think you have watched that movie. Right. So In Time is like basically the time is something which is the mode of exchange, be it currency for goods and services. And when the time is over, you don't have any currency left, you'll be dead. That is In Time. It has been shown so normally, this weird concept is shown so normally because they have made a movie in future, and in that future, in the distant future, it looks like that will be a very normal things to do. Justin Timberlake was there, right? Janvi, because he came to Facebook from YouTube. Okay, Janvi, welcome. So that is In Time. Justin Timberlake is there. Think about this, no? You have a watch, there's a time, and when the times are, so basically we two are friends, and one of us is probably dying, he has got less time left, then we will be sharing our time. So all these things are happening over there. Sounds weird, but it was very normal over there. Swati also came here. Okay. Question number 2. Which among the following can be inferred from the passage? A. Corn can be grown even in the prevalence of blight. B. Cooper is an avid reader. C. Interstellar successfully shows what leads to the slow motion catastrophe. D. Both A and B. Tell me the answer. Who was in the gym? Someone was in the gym. I was still watching. Some people say it's D, some people say it's A. A or C. Okay. This is an inference-based question, an inferential question. What is inference? Getting to know something, like derivation of unknown from something which is known. What is known in the passage, what can be derived is in the options. Option A says corn can be grown even in the prevalence of blight. It has not been mentioned anywhere in the passage, but it has been implied. Like all the corn was there, other crops were suffering from blight. So in a way, the author has implied that corn can be grown even when blight is there. This thing can be inferred from the passage very clearly. A can be inferred, but because there's an option which says both A and B, so we'll read B also. Now going to B. Cooper is an avid reader. Cooper has books at his place, but it is not anywhere shown or anywhere implied that Cooper was an avid reader. There's a possibility that his children were reading it. Okay? So we're not very sure about that. That is why B cannot be correct. If you look at C, Interstellar successfully showcases what leads to slow motion catastrophe. Okay. This is something which has been directly, kind of mentioned in the passage. It is not to be inferred. That is already there. That is how the entire movie has been made. So this is why C cannot be correct. A is the only option which is left, and A is the correct one. Ronit, same logic? Cool. Okay. Now, सेम सोच के सी लगाया था, बहुत ही बढ़िया. देखो अभी ना क्वेश्चंस गलत नहीं होंगे आपके. आई एम वेरी श्योर अबाउट दैट. क्वेश्चंस तो गलत होने हैं नहीं. We have already discussed this in so much detail. And Raghav says, okay, C is not opposite of what was mentioned. I think I talks about C, so not that. Why not C, please? Yeah, the same thing. What Somadev said, the same thing which I was explaining to you. It's like the entire, entire movie was based on this. C. So that is not inferred. That is directly mentioned in the passage, right? Clear? Krishna galat ho gaya. Aditya, Raghav, you got that? Chalo, perfect. Because I like this group. You guys are yourself explaining and clearing doubts out. Inference is A. Okay, the next question I'm posting on the comment. Everybody see the comment over there? Everybody see the comment? I have just posted it. So this is the question. I was not able to send it in this thing, the slide. So that is why I've showed you. Send the comment over there. Just look at that and tell me the answer. Sahaj, connect motion such in batch one. Sahaj, I was just talking to my teammates, and there's a possibility that we'll be having a kind of revision session. And that okay, I'll get back to you for that. Because I've been told that the VR session in batch one has already the course is already over. But of course, it is like more you practice, more you know. Even if the course is finished, so I get that. And that is why I'm doing some public group sessions. How many dimensions there in the world? Okay, recently, because I kind of follow mathematicians. So recently, the mathematicians who are uh, studying in the chaos theory. Chaos theory is a field of mathematics. According to that, 39 dimensions have already been discovered. Maybe there'll be more, but the last time I read, that was some 6 months back, there were 39 dimensions which were already there. Okay. So people are marking D over here. Which among the following is not a normal routine of normal life as can be inferred from the passage? A. Parent teacher conferences. It's a routine, right? It has been mentioned in the passage. And here we are asking not. So not is the keyword over there. B says abundance of candy and soda. Yeah, it is again normal. C. Reading and playing. Not a routine of normalized as mentioned from the passage. Okay. Okay. Then we have C, reading and playing. Then we have D, interplanetary travel to save Earth. And then we have E, both B and D. So what can be the answer? Yeah, it's very simple. D is the answer. That was not a normal life. The normal life was, of course, parent-teacher meeting were there, candy and soda. That was the normal life. This was an easy question. I think everybody did it correctly. Satvik says, सात्विक सेज abundance ऑफ कैंडी एंड सोडा रूटीन नहीं बोलेंगे, वो तो एक फैक्ट टाइप हो गया. ओके बताओ बताओ क्या होगा, ये रूटीन है कि नहीं है? देखो सात्विक, एक चीज बताता हूं मैं आपको. किसी भी और सी पैसेज में किसी भी टाइप के क्वेश्चन में एक प्रॉब्लम होती है कि व्हाट वी नो, and then we say what we have learned. What we know, what we have learned. Now the problem over here is normal life में भी आप देखोगे आपके हिसाब से तो candy and soda is not normal. It's not routine. It's a fact because it is there in the normally in the passage it has been mentioned, but you do not do candy and soda every day. That is why you're thinking it's not a routine. So whatever you know from your education or from your perspective, that can be true, but when a passage is being talked about, in that passage, even if you feel something is weird, but passage is normal, then we'll consider it normal only while answering the question. Clear? Ronit, that was because of the abundance because of corn, वो सिर्फ bear के लिए थी. A corn was being fermented to make beer, thanks to all that corn. Look at this. It's mentioned, but the survivors cling to the habits and rituals of normal life. What normal life? Plenty of candy, soda, and beer, parent teacher conferences after school. So, all these things form the normal life. Got it? Perfect. Now, I'll send you the next question. Here goes the next question. Cool. Tell me the answer. Hemant says clear. Okay. Yeah, people on YouTube, mark your answers. I'm sending the comment on YouTube as well. People say it's B. Is that so? Some people getting A as the answer, some are getting D as the answer, some getting. So basically, people are divided into all the options. Which one should be the correct one? Which among the following is a differentiating factor between dust bowl, and the catastrophe as can be inferred from the passage? Option A says there is abundance of corn in the given catastrophe, which wasn't the case during Dust Bowl. Okay. B says there were no laptops during the Dust Bowl. C says humans were not responsible for Dust Bowl, which is not the case in mentioned catastrophe. D, none of these. See, here the answer is option B about the laptops. It has not been clearly mentioned, but if you read closely, if you read between the lines, you would find it out. I'll tell you how. From old timers chronicles what sounds like the Dust Bowl of the 1930s until we spot a laptop on the table being set for family dinner. So basically, it looks like the author is trying to convey that the entire scene looks like 1930s. Till when? Till when? Till we spot a laptop on the table. Got it? That means the differentiating factor is laptop only, not the other things. Is that clear? Until is the keyword over here. So these things, should be kept in mind. words like until, unless, but, all these words, kind of can break or make an answer, as it happened in this case. Gaurav said, Dust Bowl occurred in 1930s, first lot. Gaurav, ठीक है. This is something you know, but that should not be the basis of answering this question. Got it? The basis to answer this question is the word until. Okay? The word until is the basis of this question. वो आपको पता है वो अलग बात है कि भाई 80 लैपटॉप 30s में थे नहीं, बट दैट इज नॉट द रीजन. दैट शुडंट बी द रीजन. Okay, someone asked why not A? Why not A? Why not A? Because the word until has been used only for the laptop and not for anything else. That is why. So we are not very sure about A, but we are sure about B. That is why we have marked the B as the answer. So when there is an unsurety, you want to find the closest option. And B is not the closest, B is the this on the face answer because until has been used over there. Got it, Pranjal? Pranjal, you got that? Okay. Ronit asks what happened during Dust Bowl. So in Dust Bowl, in the belt of American and Canadian prairies, Ronit, you heard about prairie? Prairie is a grass field. Like prairies are there, savannas are there, the grass fields. So in the prairie region, there were severe dust storms happening in 1930s, and that is where a lot of crops were getting destroyed. All right, Ronit. Prairie grass in North America. Yeah, right. Ronit, this is the reason. Yogeshwara asks, why not C? Just a minute. I just lost the comment over there. Was it Yogeshwar? Okay. Humans were not responsible for the Dust Bowl, which is not in the case in mentioned catastrophe. Okay. C. Even this catastrophe is mentioned in Interstellar or in this passage. Nowhere it has been said that humans were responsible for that. It's not said over there. It is something, when I was explaining you the passage, I told this is kind of commonsensical that humans might be responsible. But the passage doesn't say that at all. All right, Yogeshwar. Yogeshwar, got it? Devanshu joking with you. Yes, we don't have to relate laptops with catastrophe. Yash, read the question carefully. It's not about the catastrophe. It is about, in fact, question is not about that also. It is about the period of catastrophe. Is it the current period or is it the period of 1930s? It's not about catastrophe in relation to laptops. Yash, got that? So in 1930s, if catastrophe happened, laptops cannot be there. If it happened today, then how do you know it is today? Because from the movie, which has been mentioned in the passage, that from the movie, which is there in the passage, that we feel it is 1930s until we spot a laptop. So now we know that this is present time. Cool. Okay, so this is where I would like to end the session, and I hope it was really enjoyable to everyone because I really enjoyed it. I'm having this memories of Interstellar, one of my favorite movies, second favorite movie, in fact. And me and my friends, we kind of discussed this movie n number of times, and it has got so many loops, so many perspectives that every time you watch it, you'll get something new. And if you have time, do watch it today itself. Okay, because I'm going to watch it again. हेमंत देख लूं क्या आज? बिल्कुल देखो, मैं भी देखूंगा आज. Okay, so it was really nice interacting to you all, and we'll be having more such sessions probably in the next class. As I told once that we'll be having some book reading session or something like that. So I think on Alchemist we'll be having some RC. All right. I mean, yeah, they will try to rewatch again on way. Exactly, exactly. So Amadip, we can discuss different themes. Read Alchemist. So next time we'll be having something on Alchemist. People who have not read The Alchemist, please do read it. It's available freely on the internet. You can download the PDF and do that. First favorite is Matrix. Okay, cool. Thanks, Rajneesh. Okay, okay. So yeah, yeah. Of course, kind of. Even I felt when I was a student that RCs can be boring, history can be boring, all that. Mathematics is interesting, but how to make these things interesting? History, art, culture, all that stuff. So I felt that people do not enjoy it because people do not know about it. Nobody tells them. That is one point. The other point is that it is being presented in such a boring way. Just read this, answer the questions. That is something which we humans cannot do. We are thinkers. We need entertainment. We need things to so that we can hook ourselves on it. And that is why I kind of felt like a student that what would a student want, and that is how I created a session by using animations and all that stuff. So that is what I have tried to do over here. स्वाति के लिए मैथ्स इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं है. चलो वो तो काफी सब्जेक्टिव सा हो गया. थिंकिंग फास्ट एंड स्लो में आनंद नहीं बढ़ी है. अपूर्व जाहिर मैंने पढ़ी है. पॉलो कोएलो. ओके ओके चलो फिर हम मिलेंगे अब कल. टिल देन हैव अ ग्रेट इवनिंग. बाय बाय. बाय.